We are in Unit 2, still doing equations. We are doing day 3. Today is about distributing. I love distributing. Jackson, do you want to take a guess how excited I am? Wow! That excited! That excited right there! That's how excited I am! Jackson, you were looking at me. Why'd you jump, Jackson?
Oh my God.
Distributing means to multiply to everything inside of the grouping symbol. For us, our grouping symbol will be parentheses. And I don't know if I can spell parentheses correctly, but I think I did. I'm not a speller. Yes, it's Josh Vietti playing the wobble. Yes, correct. If you don't know who Josh Vietti is, you look him up. He's a fantastic violinist. Okay, so distributing means to multiply to everything inside of the grouping symbol. Grouping symbols, listen. Grouping symbols are parentheses, are brackets. There's a lot of other grouping symbols that you're not going to get to this year, like square roots, cube roots, all that kind of stuff. But we're going to just deal with parentheses. There are really no notes to be given for distributing. You multiply. That's it. There's a reason why on our warm-ups, I've been showing you this. And my other class gives me really dirty looks when I'm like, this problem. And they're like, we know how to multiply, Mr. H. Yeah, but there's a reason why I'm having a number next to a parenthesis. Because when that number is smack dab, there is no sign in between that number and the parenthesis, that means I'm taking this 3 and I'm multiplying it to this 7. You guys have done that on your warm-ups already. That gives me a positive 21. We've just distributed. That's it. Is that hard? No. Okay. Is it on the board? I mean, just saying. Here's the key. If I say, hey, don't write this, then you shouldn't. But if I write it on the board, it's probably not for me. I know this might shock you because sometimes I don't come off the smartest person, but I've already passed 7th grade math. I know. It's a shocker. So, let's go here. Let's go 3 times 4x minus 2. This time, we've got, in parentheses, 4x minus 2. How many x's do we have?
1.
No. We have 4 x's. There are 4 x's here. So now, is there anything between the 3 and the parenthesis? No, there's no sign between the 3 and the parenthesis. So I am going to, please, box my 3. Everybody with me still? Yes? I multiply to everything inside of the grouping symbol. I'm going to take my 3 and I'm going to multiply it to the 4x. So, folks, there is a reason why I am doing this. Box, draw the arrow. Let's just do that portion. I have 4 x's. Now I have 3 sets of my 4 x's. So how many x's will I have? 12 x's. The variable will stay, and we multiply the numbers. Still with me there? Then I'm taking 3 times what?
-2.
Very good, Sammy. I'm taking this 3, not to the 2, but to the -2. Notice what I did there. I circled the number and the sign. Please, 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 please do this. I can't stress that enough because some of you will absolutely forget to do that and miss it. So now I have 3 times negative 2. Notice how I just read that. I started my box. 3 times negative 2.
Mr. H, can we pause for a second?
Sure.
If you haven't circled the negative 2 and made those distribution arrows on your paper, do it right now. I just did a quick little walk. I see maybe half of you missing that. Do it, please. It's going to help. Those signs matter.
So now I'm still multiplying my 3 times the negative 2, which gives me negative 6. This is simplified. Okay, because distributing is still simplifying. You need to know that you have to multiply. Questions on that one? Okay? Let's do another example, and then you're going to start doing some on your own. Negative 7. 5. Actually, let's go. Negative y minus 2. Do I have my number smack dab up against the parenthesis?
Yes.
Yeah, the 7 is still smack dab up against the parenthesis. So what are we going to distribute? What number are we going to take, Grego?
7.
The what?
7. Negative 7.
The negative 7. Now listen, that's important. I'm glad you said 7 first, okay? I'm not picking on you at all. Most of you will take this 7 and start multiplying because we forget that it's the number in front. I will box the sign, or I said number in front, the sign in front. I will box my sign and the number. The sign in front of that number is the only one that attaches to it. So now I'm taking negative 7 times, a negative y. But wait a minute. How many y's, Maya?
1.
1. Put your 1 in there. So I'm really keeping the y. Negative times a negative is what, Caleb? What's a negative times a negative? Positive. 7 times 1?
7.
Yeah, 7y. Because it's my first number, do I need to put a plus with it?
No.
No. Now, negative 7 times negative 2. Negative times a negative is going to be what? Positive, negative. 7 times 2. And I'm done, right? 7y14?
You forgot to put a plus.
Whoa, hands. Hands, 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 hands. I should see a bunch of hands. What did I do wrong here? Bianca?
You forgot to put a positive.
Yeah. I can't have 7y14. What type of 14 is it? It's a plus. This is simplified. One more example that I'm going to show you that doesn't come up often, but I want you to see it. 3x minus 2 times 4. Now listen. Is my number smack dab up against the parenthesis? Well, not really, but it's saying this times this. Does everybody understand that? So what number do I have to distribute? Come on, I'm going to get in the same 2 hands, and I love that they know it, but I need some other people. What number am I going to distribute? What number do I have to multiply? Jackson?
4.
Yeah. 3x minus 2, all of this times the 4. So I'm going to take the 4 and I'm going to multiply it. 4 times 3x.
So it's the same thing.
So it's, yes, it's exactly the same thing. So it's 12x, bless you. 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. This one you won't see very often, okay? I promise you're not going to see it very often, but I need you to know that distributing can happen from the front into the parentheses or from the back into the parentheses. Okay, as long as we're multiplying into those parentheses. Everybody with me? Okay, so you're trying these three problems. Try these three problems. Okay, so you've got -2 times 5x minus 1. 7 times 4x plus 12. And -8 times -5x plus 7. Write them down, give them a try. Go ahead. Once you're done, call us over. Raise your hand, let us know.
Pardon me? Oh, great. Thanks so nice. Well, you're good. You have it though, right? So guess what? It's full credit. Okay?
I mean, really, it's that simple. Thank you. When you're totally done with all three, put your hand up, we'll come around and check it. Or if you have a question.
I should start seeing some hands coming up here soon.
Oh, my bad. I just asked about, yeah.
Folks, I'm seeing a lot of good things.
Can I do a calculator?
No, we're not using calculators.
Oh, no, 7 times 12 is.
Then write it out. You're not going to have calculators for this section. Okay, so really, really happy. For the most part, we crushed it. We are going to box in the -2 times the +5. -2 times +5 is -10. Negative times a negative. Only have one sign between numbers. A negative times a negative is +2. Most of us got that one. So 7 times a positive 4x is 28x. 7 times a positive 12. Let's say, okay, you don't have your multiplication chart. How are we going to do this? 12 times 7. 7 times 2 is 14, carry the 1. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 1 is 8. Gives me a positive 84. Questions there? Show of hands, who's 2 for 2 so far? Most of us. This is the one that tricked you up, because you have to, first off, pay attention. Second, you need to make sure that you're boxing in and underlining. So we've got this negative 8 times a negative 5x. Negative times a negative is positive. The x stays. 8 times 5 is 40. Negative times a positive gives me negative. 8 times 7 is 56. Questions there? We good? Okay. 3 more examples and then it's time for you to do some work. So this is distributing, but we're going to add in 2 things. So we did combining like terms, which is going to be part of distributing. If I give you 3 times x minus 7 minus 3 and tell you to simplify it, the first step is still to multiply. So I know that we are taking notes right now. We are going to multiply first. We said distributing means to multiply to everything inside of the grouping symbols, not the whole problem. So I'm going to take my 3 and I'm going to multiply it to my x. Well, what is my x?
1x.
1x. I'm going to take my 3 and I'm going to multiply it to my negative 7. B, are you copying this down, bud?
No.
Okay, well, let's start copying it down. So 3 times 1x is 3x. 3 times a negative 7 is negative 21. Do I multiply to this negative 3 outside of it?
No.
So it just comes down. Now you've seen this problem. Go ahead, Isabella.
Oh, never mind, I didn't see that.
So now we have this problem. Brooklyn, what do I do now? Circle the 3x. Is there anything to combine with 3x? So what happens to it? Yep, bring it down. Then what? So now we've got negative 21 and negative 3. Gregor, what's that giving?
24 plus 24.
If I'm at negative 21 and I'm subtracting 3 more, what's it at? Negative 24.
Two negatives and positive.
When you multiply.
Hey, Mr. H,
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to compliment Brooklyn because she gave you very specific directions.
With circling.
Circling
and box.
boxing. That's awesome, and that's going to keep you on track.
Okay, let's try another one. This is where it's going to get a little bit trickier. Negative 7 minus 2, 5x plus 4. Copy that down. What's your question?
So what if we like both of them?
We're going to talk about it. So, what do we need to distribute? Isabel.
37 makes it the first one.
So let's go back here. This 3 is smack dab up against the parenthesis. This negative 2 is smack dab up against the parentheses. This 7 is smack dab up against the parentheses because when we have a number, just like that first example that I told you to write down, I don't remember what it was, but we know that when a number is right next to a parenthesis, that means multiply, right? So again, I ask, what number will we be distributing? Go ahead, Bianca.
Negative 2.
Negative 2, very good. So I'm going to take all of this and I'm going to multiply it. But wait a minute. What happens to this negative 7 out front?
It stays.
Yeah, so we bring it on down, right? So the negative 7 comes straight down. You knew that the number and the sign directly in front of that in front of those parentheses gets multiplied. So I'm taking negative 2 times 5x. Negative times a positive is negative. 2 times 5 is 10. Got to keep that x. Negative 2 times what? Simone, what am I multiplying that negative 2 times?
Positive 4.
Very good. Positive 4. Negative times a positive is negative. 2 times 4 is 8. And I am a rock star genius. I am done. I am not done, I've been told. Why am I not done? Why am I not done here? Come on, I need some new hands. Maya.
Because you have to circle and bring it down.
Okay, what am I circling?
You circle the 7,
The what?
a negative 7.
Okay.
And a negative 8,
Good. What's
Yeah.
negative 7 minus 8?
negative 15.
Beautiful. What else?
And then you box in the negative 10x and you bring that down. Behind. Oh,
Does it matter which side it's to?
no.
So if I bring it behind, that's fine. This is an absolutely correct answer. But so is this. And I like to have my variables out front. Both are fine. Okay, you're going to try one more on your own. One more on your own. Raise your hands for us when you are done. Let's do negative 2x plus 4 negative 3 minus 2x. Actually, let's make that plus x. So here's your problem here. Do that one. So we're doing this problem on the board, which means we actually need to copy it down. No. That's part of the problem. You need to have that multiplication so I can show you how.
Right? Okay. Is that right or wrong? You get 8 from
You have to multiply. Folks,
I hate negatives. 4 multiply. 2. Supposed to multiply. Yeah. I was paying attention. What? That's why
what do you want? Okay, so for the most part, guys, I am not unhappy with it. You guys did pretty well. First off, You need to know which number is getting distributed. Which number gets multiplied? That's the first question. Haley, which number is getting distributed?
The positive 4.
Good. This positive 4 is getting multiplied. What happens to this negative 2x?
Just stay the same. Bring it in.
Bring it down. So we're done with it. We're done with it right now because it's already brought down into our answer. Then I take my positive 4, and this is what I was seeing. I saw people do this, and then put plus 1. Because, listen, you didn't follow directions. It's not just a line. I've been putting this dot here on every single one. What does that tell me to do? Oh, because we're not adding. 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. Listen, you saw what I did with the homework. I can do this in my head, but I don't. I want to see exactly what we're doing. Then 4 times a positive 2x is positive 8x. Everybody still with me?
Yeah.
From there, I've got negative 2x plus 8x. Negative 2 plus 8 is positive 6x. There's nothing to group that negative 12 with, so it comes on down. And there we are. Questions, concerns, problemos? Okay.